Hey France fans, it's Jordan Jackson, and it's that time of year again where we talk to our overage players and reminisce a little bit about their OHL careers as we kind of wrap up the regular season looking towards playoffs. Joining me today, Alec Bélanger. Alec, thanks so much for taking some time. We want to really get into your career, bring up some great memories, talk about how we got to this point. But to get there, you got to start at the beginning. So let's go back to draft day, 2018 OHL Priority Selection. You were selected by the Ottawa 67s. What do you remember about that day and the emotions you felt?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a crazy day. I remember being at school the day before on a Friday and just talking to my buddies and stuff and the teachers, and they're like, "Oh, it's actually gonna happen." I knew I was gonna get drafted at some point somewhere, so got up pretty early on Saturday, and I was sitting with my mom, my dad, and my sister, and we were just watching the draft on our laptop, and finally at one point saw my name, and then 20 seconds later I got a call from Andre Tourigny, the coach of the 67s, and he called me, talked to me in French, asked me if I was excited, and I said obviously, and I talked to James Boyd, two really important people that helped me out throughout my career. So it was cool to start that day off like that, and I'll never forget that day for sure.
That's in April. You get the news you've been drafted by the 67s. Training camp rolls around. You're getting ready for your first OHL game. First time you stepped on OHL ice. What was that feeling like? And can you take us back to that night and share some of the memories?
Yeah, it was obviously a long road there. Started off where got my first rookie camp after the draft, and I was a little bit overweight. So I think that I got told that I wouldn't make the team at 19% body fat. So it was sort of a wake-up call early, late spring, I guess. So I had a big summer of my first real summer of training and stuff back home with Greg Eskigen, a trainer back home, one of my mentors and friends now. And he really helped me get ready for the season. So I got ready. I felt like I was in a good spot, and then showed up that year trying to make the team. And I somewhat made it as an affiliate. I played some games in Junior A. And then finally in October, I got the call up to go play with 67s. And I remember that game quite well. It was funny. I only played 3 shifts that game, but I remember Levin on Sudbury, the Wolves. He came down the middle, did a nice little toe drag on me, and then scored. So I only played 3 shifts. So I was dash one.
Welcome to the league.
Yeah, exactly. But those are the moments you won't forget. And I remember that game, and I'll appreciate that. I remember talking to my assistant coach, another French name, Mario Duhamel, as long as Andre Tourigny after the game, and telling me that I had nothing to worry about and that it was all good. But it was when you're 16, it's a lot coming at once. Yeah. But I knew I was going to be able to play in this league and be a factor in this league, and I'm happy with how things have turned out.
Well, you had 6 games before you recorded your first point, but the night you did get your first point in the OHL, that was a big night for you. I don't know how much you remember about that night, but you had 2 assists, you were +3, 4 shots on goal, and you went to the box for 5 for fighting for the first time in the league. Do you remember that night, and specifically getting your first point in the OHL?
Yeah, I won't lie to you. When you played for the 67s, those 2 years, for people that follow the game know that we were pretty good. Yeah. So those 2 assists were probably just some chips off the boards to Marco Rossi and I don't know, so guys like that, Ty Felliver, I was just chipping the puck to them and they did the rest. Yeah. So I don't remember too much about those assists, so they probably weren't the best plays ever, but yeah, the fight was cool too. I knew I wanted to get one under my belt early just to feel it out. I wanted to be a guy that was able to defend my teammates and defend myself, and I wanted to make sure I knew how and got some experience early, so that was cool too. But I think at the end of the day, that game was just maybe like you said, showed that I could play in this league and I could be a factor, and I'm happy with how things have went since. But I owe all my points in Ottawa almost to the other guys other than myself. So yeah, it's good.
You mentioned you had really good squads, and obviously the standings show that. First year, tough way to finish against Guelph in the finals there. But second year, 50 wins again, and then the dreaded COVID shutdown happened. Despite the fact that you didn't get to make the playoff run that year, how much did those 2 50-win seasons and the playoff series you had in the first year help you develop as a player?
Yeah, I think it was obviously starting back my first year. Playoffs I knew that it was going to be hard to get in the lineup. Worked every day. I got called up full time with the 67s in January, so I was looking forward to play a lot of games in the second half, and then I knew playoffs were going to be a grind. So just waited my turn, stayed patient, worked hard, trusted the process, sort of thing, like the classic cliches, but I had to do that. And then finally got in my first game in the 3rd round against Oshawa, and then we had an injury on the back end, so I had to play in the finals actually against guys like Nick Suzuki,
Yeah.
Sean Dursey,
Yeah.
guys like that are now in the NHL, which were pretty cool experience. And yeah, I don't know, it's just that was an unreal experience. And then the year after, I knew that my role was going to be bigger. Came back, we had so many guys coming back as well that we know we were going to be good. So I was trusted with a much bigger role of playing D and then starting to play forward as well, like I've been doing throughout my career, and got to play with one of my best buddies that I met in this league, Jack Quinn, and another good buddy of mine, Mitch Holscher, got to be on their line for a little bit of time when I switched to forward. And my coach, Andre Turini, just showed a lot of trust in me as well, trusting me to be a forward, and also knowing that I could go back on the back end when needed. And then, like I mentioned earlier, those Andre Turini, James Boyd, Mario Duhamel, Norm, all those people, and all Jan Eggert, the coaching staff and the hockey operations department out there was just so great to help me become a man when I came to the team as a boy, sort of thing. And both those 50 win seasons were incredible for us and for myself. But it's too bad it was cut short. But life happens, I guess.
Well, we all dealt with it, and everyone dealt with it in different ways. For you were able to go over to Europe. You played in Finland for a little bit. Again, credit to the 67s for loaning you over there, allowing you to continue to develop as a player. What was that experience like, being able to go over to Europe? And you didn't get a ton of playing time over there, but just to experience it and see a totally different style of hockey over there.
Yeah, exactly. I was in Finland for 4 months, actually. Left in November, and then got back like in late February. It was a great experience. Like I knew that I wanted to do something, and I had the ability through the 67s and my family's support and everything, that I knew I didn't want to just sit around and do nothing, because I worked a bit, and obviously I still work like now and stuff, but it was nice to just maybe get away for, like those 4 months to play hockey. I met some fantastic people. A friend that I've still been in contact with a bunch ever since, and I've seen him. He came to Toronto last summer, sort of thing. Linus, his name was, and we're still good buddies. That's a friend for life that I met out there that you'd never think you would meet. So just stuff like that I'm grateful for, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I remember all my time in Finland as being fun and good to play hockey.
An unfortunate reason, but a very cool
exactly.
life experience, right?
People were dealing with so much back home where all I could think about all the time was just how grateful I was, and I still have that mentality now. And for people who know me, I think I live that glass half full type of mentality, where I'm just looking to, or is it half empty? I don't know how that expression
Glass
works.
half full for you.
Yeah, okay. It's like that's how I live my life.
You're definitely a glass half full.
And I was grateful to be out there, and there was so much going on here that it was nice to get away.
For sure. Luckily, the OHL did return for the 21-22 season. You're back in Ottawa to start, but fairly quickly in the year, traded to Kingston. How did you take that news, and what were your thoughts of coming to Kingston to be a Frontenac?
Yeah, it was obviously a crazy day. I had no idea I was going to get traded. I remember I was at home, my billets back there, Francis and Sonia, and my two billet sisters, and I was on the couch downstairs, and I was supposed to be doing schoolwork, like university schoolwork, and I was just laying there, and then my phone started ringing. I was like, God, I was like, this isn't good. I know, because I knew exactly what time it was. I was like, it's just about before 12.
Yeah.
I look up slowly, and it's James Boyd calling me, and I knew that even he didn't have to tell me where I was going. I knew I was going to take the trade just because of the way I am. If a team reaches out and wants me that bad, and I talked to Boyd, and Boyd said that obviously, it's hard making a trade, but for the team it would be good for the 6-7s, and he thought it'd be good for the team I was going to. So when he said Kingston, it was even more a no-brainer. My best friend, he played here, Lucas Perrick, and it was nice to get back from our time in Ottawa. So that was also a no-brainer. And I've heard so much about Kingston. I came to Kingston a couple of times before for some fun times and stuff like that. So I knew that Kingston was going to be a spot that I was going to like, and I'm so glad I accepted the trade, and my time here has been incredible.
Obviously, Kingston was had high hopes for that season when you first got here, looking to make a long playoff run. Unfortunately, that second round exit for the team that year, but you were a guy that contributed in multiple ways. You talked about it a little bit earlier in Ottawa. Asked to play defense, you played defense. Asked to play forward, you play forward. The only thing you didn't do is maybe play goalie, and you might have done that in practice. I don't know. But how are you so versatile, and how are you so successful at all those positions? Because clearly this is multiple coaching staffs that have trusted you to put you in those spots. Yeah,
I think it was early from day one that when I came into this league, there was some values that were shown to me from Andre Tourigny and coaching staff in Ottawa. And one of the biggest things was just to be selfless and to be a team guy. And honestly, like maybe a lot of people say it might have hurt me to be going back and forth just to have potentially gotten drafted and playing pro. But I look at it the way where I think I can leave this league and people can agree that I was a good teammate and a good team player. Like wherever I was asked to go, I never complained once. And I just wanted the team to win. I was really confident my second year in Ottawa that we were going to win. And I was really looking forward to doing anything it took to win that year. So it's too bad that didn't happen. But yeah, I think just being able to do it just comes from, like I said, the coaching staff's just helped me. Like I had to learn these systems, I had to learn how to play every position, but that's not done on your own. It's not done overnight either. Like even when I got here to Kingston, like I'm still getting helped. Even yesterday, I'm talking to Coach Luca about a positioning as a winger because I didn't know what to do, and he's easy to talk to and stuff like that. And then going back to D, like the understanding I had this year with Coach John, like on the back end, which another great coach, like he just being able to tell me, like understanding that I was playing forward for 5 games and now I'm going to play D and he's okay with, like, I'm going to make mistakes and he's super understanding of that. And I just think that shows how Kingston's organization is incredible. And same goes with Longo. I go back to forward and then my timing's a little off up front and there's no problem there. And so I thank coaching staff in Ottawa to putting me in that position, and I have as much gratitude for my coaching staff in Kingston for trusting me and being okay with me taking the time I need to adjust.
You mentioned a team player being an important part of your role. Obviously, coming back this year, the jersey's turned around. You can't see it right now, but there is an A on the other side, and that's very much because you are a team player. For your overage season, to get a letter and do that for a whole year on an OHL franchise, what's that mean to you? And to know your coaching staff has that kind of faith in you to lead this group.
Yeah, when like I said, when I first got in the league, I had a lot of great older guys. It was an old team in Ottawa, and I think I learned so much from there's countless guys. I can't even name them off, all of them, but there's endless examples of guys that have shown me the right way of going about things and how to be a leader and how to be a positive leader in the right way. And I think I just try to take a little bit from every guy in Ottawa that I thought was doing the right thing and what I agree with, and I try to just bring that here every day. I'm not trying to be fake. I'm just trying to be myself, and I think a lot of stuff that I preach and that I try to tell the young guys on our team and even some of the older guys is stuff that I believe in and some of my values as a person. And I think I appreciate obviously getting the A and stuff, but I think it goes beyond that. Like there's so many kids in this locker room that are going to become like great leaders as well, and I'm looking forward to looking back in a couple of years and checking out and seeing how guys have turned out. And I'm going to be proud to say that I hope that they took a little bit of what I said, or maybe if it's just a couple things and I stay out of trouble and stuff like that. But I don't know. Obviously, I appreciate the honor.
I know you're not much of a social media guy, but when the trade happened and you came to Kingston, if you followed us on social and the reactions to the trade, everybody had the same thing to say. Great guy on and off the ice, Alec Bélanger. You're getting a great guy. Once you got here, as someone who works closely with you, community events, interviews, stuff like that, couldn't agree more. But I want to know why it's so important to you, because your community involvement in Ottawa and Kingston is unmatched by anyone I've seen in a long time, and I know it means a lot to you. So why is that? Why do you have to get out there and be a part of both of those communities where you played junior hockey?
Yeah, I think it's just, it probably stems from my parents. My mom one day told me I was acting entitled. It's a long time ago. Told me I was acting entitled and stuff back home and got a little upset with me. And I remember that moment like yesterday, and I was obviously way younger back then. I wasn't as mature and stuff, and I remembered after that discussion I had with her that I was never going to be like that again, and that I felt really bad about that. And ever since that day, and I think before as well too, I think it just was important to be grateful for the opportunity I have, and I try to tell my teammates and I try to preach as much as I can how we get to play hockey, and I'm going to keep playing hockey for the years to come, and I get to have this incredible life of people like yourself and the staff and everybody that's here for us, and we get treated like kings playing hockey in the OHL. It's not even funny, and it's honestly sometimes I gotta, like you say, you gotta pinch yourself. I got to go play in London and go play in front of 9,000 people, and I get to play here on big crowds, and I have the fans chanting your name, and when you score a goal, there's just so many things to be grateful for. And I think when it comes to the community, I think it was easy too. Like when I got to Ottawa, it was pretty clear right away. We were doing community events all the time, and it was either you buy in or you don't. And I bought in right away. I thought it was great just being able to. I remember one day Andre saying to me like telling me how look at this belly. Like, this is, people are here for you to sign their jersey, and you're a 16, 17-year-old kid. Like realize, like, I know what you're like in practice. I know what you're like outside the rink. Like, what they're asking you to sign their jersey, that means that you're so much more important for the community than you think. And that really stuck with me. And and especially the military stuff, especially in Kingston as well as Ottawa. But Kingston was really big on that sort of thing, and I really appreciate that, because coming from a military background, my dad being in the Army, I think the military involvement is important. I think for Kingston, I hope you guys keep doing it, and I really appreciate you guys making me a big part of that. But I think also a lot of it goes to the staff. Staff in Ottawa was great at organizing community events that were great, and staff here is fantastic at organizing community events. And I'm really hoping that some guys see that the community is as important as I know it is, and hopefully it keeps going for the years to come.
For sure. Well, you've led by an outstanding example too. After you're gone, to help those kids get into the community as well. Next Friday, last regular season home game here at Leon Center. I know you only had a couple years as a Frontenac, but what's it mean to take the ice? Obviously, we're hoping for a long playoff run still after that, but last time in the regular season, we know that unquestioned. What's it mean to take the ice one more time as an OA in the regular season in the OHL?
Yeah, it's obviously going to be. I'm big into like the soft. You can ask anybody. I'm big a little bit of into that sort of stuff. I think I'm a cheesy sort of guy, so I think I'm obviously going to take it in and be appreciative. But I'll remember, like, even this rink when I broke my wrist and I needed surgery when I was with Ottawa, in that corner over there from Nate Poole, who's now my teammate, and it was a clean hit and everything. But it was sad, and I had doctors along the way to help me, and I just thinking about all that is going to be what's coming on my mind. And I've suffered a concussion that put me out 3 months, and it happened just over there. And honestly, that was as much as weird as it sounds, like, it was a great thing to happen to me, because it showed me a different part of who I was and what I wanted to do later on in life, and it helped me a lot. It was a mental grind, obviously, but it's just all that's going to be running through my mind. Coming here and playing with some great players, and like I said earlier, mentioning that I got to play with my best buddy, Lucas Perez. A lot of days where we'd play, and then, like, in the third period, the game would be over, and we're on the ice talking about what we're going to do after the win. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, we had a really good time, especially last year. And even when we were in Ottawa, like, that's all I'm going to be thinking about, I think. And to have my family from Quebec is going to come down as well.
Awesome.
I have my mom, dad, my sister. Like, just everybody that means a lot to me is going to be here. My old billets, like, it's going to be great. And I'm obviously going to miss this, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to starting a new chapter of my life. So it's going to be exciting to close this chapter and turn the page and on to a new one.
I'm curious if you can talk about that next chapter at all. I'm sure there's lots of schools across the country looking for your services next year. Yeah. Can you share any news on that, on what your plans are for next season?
Yeah, like I mentioned, when I was out with my concussion, it gave me a lot of time to think, and I think I narrowed down more what I was looking to do in life. So I'm going to go to Dalhousie University next year, play hockey there. Awesome. And take kinesiology. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and seeing where that takes me, maybe in the field of health or maybe somewhere else. But I think that's the plan for me next year, and I think it's the right way to go about things, and I'm looking forward to that. And I think this decision was just able to be made through everything I learned and while I was playing in the OHL, and what was important to me and what I think I want to do in life.
Awesome. I know we can't take all of your time here. I know you got practice coming up, but the OHL, you don't get here to this point without help from so many people. I just want to give you a chance to thank all those that are important to you that helped you get to this point today.
Yeah, like I mentioned already, my coaches in Ottawa, like, I won't name them all again, but they're fantastic. The staff in Ottawa, the GM, Boydie and Jem, they were great. And then the same goes for Kingston. Coop put a lot of trust in me, and honestly, and even this year being hurt at the deadline, and what he did to keep me around when he knew I wasn't maybe going to be back, that meant a lot to me, and I hope he knows that. And same thing, meeting, like I said, the staff here as well, John, Luca, Chris, and you can't forget, like, I could go on for it, but they can't forget, that's going to be long, actually. I'm going to keep going. That's okay. You can't forget, like, the ATs that I had in Ottawa, Dan and MP last year, and equipment manager Chris Hamilton, one of the best guys in the business, just a clown. And then Kenny Walls, the radio guy. I got close to the radio guy in Ottawa. He's a good guy too. And then here, Chris Nelson, I was out, like I said, concussion, 3 months. Every day he's texting me, asking how I'm doing. Like, that stuff is incredible. Brooks Taylor here. And my billets, I think that's also really important. I had billets my first couple years. Nicole Gibson and her son Liam Fordick, who's turning into a great young man, and I'm really proud of him, and I'm hoping that somewhat of what I did and what I showed helped maybe. And after my billets, my last couple of years there, Sonia Darvaux and Francis Pichet, they're fantastic for me, and the kids, KK, SJ, I don't know, they're little animals. Like, that was great. And then here, obviously in Kingston, Sue and Brian, probably the best billets. Everybody knows about Sue and Brian. Like, they're unreal. And yeah, my billet brothers I had along the way, Jordan Frasca and Gabe Frasca now, and Maddox Callens and Duncan Schneider. That house has had everybody. And
for sure.
My agent, he's helped me too. And then my doctor for my wrist, did my surgery. Dr. Prudhomme Foster was great. Dr. Rogers, that helped me with my head. And I think I'm missing some. Mrs. D, another lady, I guess you can, like another help. I guess she was helped with the academics in Ottawa. She really helped me like get to the point where I am now, going to Dalhousie next year. Mrs. D was incredible in so many ways to help me with that. Madame LaRose, our principal in Ottawa, and I think I'm getting near the end here. But
okay. Like I said, it takes
exactly.
a lot of people.
And then I think finally it's just the support from my close family, like my family in Quebec. They watch a lot of the games, probably all of them. They got a subscription, and got a text the other day when we scored in Peterborough in overtime. My uncle's touching the head with his when he jumped up, he's hitting the ceiling. My grandma's jumping up and down. Way too old to be jumping up and down. And then my family as well. My mom, my dad, my sister, they're incredible. And then I just got to say thank you to the boys, my teammates. Like, I met a lot of interesting guys, a lot of guys I took a little bit from here and there in terms of how I want to be and how I wanted to grow up into, and I give a lot of credit to them. And then, and I would say just finally, just my buddy Lucas Perrick, he's a good guy. You know what I mean? I want to give him a little shout because he was throughout my whole career. When I was we had some tough times actually in Ottawa at the start because we were both battling for the 6th D spot, and sometimes it could have created a bad relationship. But I just think it just shows that in life, when guys get along and they're friends, you can deal with that kind of stuff. And when I got here in Kingston, we were extremely close, and we're still close to this day. He had a great year of Queens this year, and he's doing school, and I'm proud of him, and I'm happy for him, and it's got his life in order, and I gotta say thank you to him. And then at the end of the day, I think that is it. I'm probably forgetting someone. I feel really bad, but
it's okay. You know what? I think if you just say thanks to everyone.
Yeah, no, just go thanks to everyone. I hope I got everybody, but and I want to say thank you to the fan bases. Lastly,
sure,
Ottawa and Kingston, I really appreciate you welcoming me, taking me in with open arms. I hope I'm an easy guy to talk to. You can see me in a couple of years, maybe walking around. You come up and we can chat and we can shoot it about whatever. But thank you to both fan bases, and thank you to the OHL, I guess. It was a good 5 years, I guess.
Belly, thanks so much for this. I'll let you go, get ready for practice here. But I want to congratulate you on an outstanding OHL career, both on and off the ice. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you here in Kingston. I'm so glad you came to Kingston, and we're a part of this team for the 2 years you were. And congratulations on Dalhousie. That's an outstanding accomplishment, and we wish you all the best of luck out there. But before you go there, take care of some more business here, okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you.
That's Alec Bélanger, overager for the Kingston Frontenacs. Getting ready for the last couple weekends here in the OHL before we head into a playoff run, maybe against his former team, the Ottawa 67s. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon.